Beneath the ocean's icy water, a silent shadow drifts past, and every creature senses the shift. The orca does not need to display power, yet every movement carries absolute control. When prey enters its line of sight, when another hunter strays into its hunting zone, the strategy begins to close in. This is not a chaotic chase, but a plan measured with precision in every moment. In this ocean, luck does not decide. The orca decides. Orcas are the largest members of the dolphin family, found from the icy polar regions to warm coastal waters. An adult can reach up to 30 feet in length and weigh more than 12,000 pounds, yet it remains remarkably agile. They live in tight-knit family groups, communicating and coordinating through a refined sound system. Beneath their black and white skin is a sharp, capable mind that remembers migration routes and adjusts tactics to each environment. With the ability to thrive from shallow waters to deep ocean trenches, orcas consistently hold their place as supreme hunters of the sea. In the deep blue waters offshore, the blue whale appears as the gentle giant of the ocean, stretching more than 100 feet and weighing hundreds of tons. Yet beneath those seemingly calm waves, a pod of orcas senses a rare opportunity. A massive whale that has drifted away from its group and shows signs of fatigue. In the open sea, a single moment of weakness can change everything. Instead of confronting it directly, the orcas choose a strategy of steady pressure. One by one, they move in, maintaining constant tension that prevents the blue whale from gaining enough distance to recover its strength. Each powerful sweep of the whale's tail can push several orcas back, but the pod knows how to avoid the danger. Minute by minute, the advantage slowly slips away from the giant. As exhaustion builds, the outcome becomes inevitable. Size is no longer a shield, and even the largest creatures can falter when faced with unified strength and intelligent coordination. In many cold and temperate oceans, the great white shark is still seen as a symbol of solitary power. With a body that can reach nearly 5,000 pounds and a bite force measuring thousands of pounds, it can control large prey with a single well-timed strike. Yet even this legendary predator can sometimes find itself at a disadvantage. Orcas read and exploit the shark's weaknesses by watching even the smallest reactions. They use high-frequency sound to disrupt the shark's ability to sense electrical signals in the water. At the right moment, an orca does not display force loudly. One member distracts from the front, causing the shark to keep changing direction. Meanwhile, the others close the circle, and gradually the great white loses the advantage it had at the start. There are even recorded cases showing that orcas selectively target the shark's most energy-rich internal resources before leaving the rest behind, an approach that highlights strategy rather than brute force. In the vast ocean, the most formidable creature is not always the strongest one, but the one that turns intelligence into its greatest advantage. On drifting ice near the edge of the polar seas, seals weighing 300 to 600 pounds use the flat surface to rest after long hours of diving for fish. Their thick layer of fat keeps them warm in icy water, but it also makes their movements on the ice slower and less stable. To orcas, this is a high-energy target with natural openings. The pod uses a technique called wave washing, an example of collective intelligence at work. When the quiet signal passes through the group, they accelerate together, pushing water forward with a force equal to hundreds of pounds against the edge of the ice and making the surface tilt and sway. This method is not simple instinct, but a skill refined over time. If the first attempt does not work, a few members pull back to observe, adjust the angle, and build a better wave, guiding the seal off the ice without needing a long chase. Once the seal slips into the water, the orcas close every escape route within a few quick strokes. This is a confrontation between physical strength and collective strategy. For orcas, these waves are not just a technique, they are a hunting craft passed down through generations. Sea lions, close relatives of seals, often rest on shorelines right at the water's edge. Yet this moment that seems safe can unintentionally create an opening. A pod of orcas waits offshore, patient and hidden, watching for young sea lions that wander or drift slightly away from the group. When one lets its guard down, several orcas surge forward, sliding partway onto the shore and using the momentum of their entire bodies to close the distance in a single wave. Once the chase reaches deeper water, the chance of escape becomes extremely small. The orcas take turns approaching from the sides, keeping the sea lion within a tight formation, closing every route within just a few strong strokes. In calm but deep waters, where the seafloor is covered in fine sand, rays press their bodies flat against the bottom, like still wing-shaped shadows. Many species, including stingrays, carry a sharp spine at the tip of the tail for protection. With this type of prey, an orca keeps its distance, turning its body to create a wide arc before sweeping its tail in a powerful burst of water. Under such force, the ray has little ability to maintain its position. This skill shows that orcas rely not only on strength, but also on experience and memory, forming a living strategy map of the ocean. Across the vast open sea, humpback whales tell a different story. They are known for migration journeys that stretch thousands of miles, leaving warm coastal bays where mothers give birth and raise their young, to reach feeding grounds rich in food but full of challenges. There, pods of 10 to 20 orcas wait like unseen guardians of the ocean. They understand that for a humpback mother and her calf, timing and location matter more than anything else. The orcas follow at a measured distance, waiting for narrow passages or choppy waters, looking for a moment when the calf drifts just slightly out of alignment with its mother. At the right time, one orca cuts in from the side, breaking the protective formation. The humpback mother tries to shield her calf, turning her body again and again. But a young whale still learning to swim long distances has limited stamina and gradually loses its early advantage. Here, the orca is not only a hunter, but a true strategist of the ocean. And the humpback mother, though exhausted, remains a symbol of unwavering maternal devotion in the vast sea. Dolphins glide across the deep blue surface like silver arrows, symbols of ocean agility and sharp intelligence. With compact bodies, speeds of more than 20 miles per hour, and the ability to change direction in an instant, they hunt efficiently while avoiding most dangers. Living in pods and communicating through sound, dolphins are rarely easy targets. But against orcas, those advantages gradually fade. The pod splits into two groups. One stays behind, maintaining steady pressure so the dolphins must keep accelerating and turning until their formation begins to stretch. The other group waits ahead, blocking possible escape paths and creating an invisible net that slows them down and disrupts their structure. The moment a young or tired dolphin slips out of this protective formation, an opportunity opens. An orca accelerates over a short distance, makes a precise, energy-efficient move, and brings the pursuit to a quick end. When facing one of the fastest swimmers in the ocean, the orca's real advantage lies in reading the water, predicting movement and coordinating as if the entire pod were a single body. The lion appears, and everything shifts in an instant. Its heavy steps sweep across the grassland, resonating like distant thunder, the ground trembling beneath each stride. Speed, strength, and strategy merge into one, unfolding in every moment. The lion does not emerge to display itself. Each step declares who truly claims this open land. This is no game, but a test of survival, where even the smallest misstep can bring everything to a sudden end. For a male lion, adulthood is not just about its body growing larger. It is a long journey of securing the right to survive and to control territory. Lions often live in prides or male coalitions, and each stretch of land is a valuable asset, shaping food sources, mates, and safety for the whole group. Conflict ignites when a solitary male steps into an occupied range, openly challenging the authority of the one who came before. When male coalitions meet, a lion must face some of the most intense confrontations with its own kind. Tracks, scent, and roaring mark the opponent's boundaries, yet it rarely chooses to turn back. It moves deeper into unfamiliar ground, like a clear declaration to the one in power. It knows that every piece of land gained comes at a heavy price, yet it still accepts the test of both strength and resolve. The one that prevails keeps the territory and the right to breed. The one that loses must withdraw, sometimes standing right at the edge of survival. It is a harsh cycle of power, where only the most determined individuals remain. Lions that manage to hold a territory for 2 to 3 years reach the peak of their strength and help maintain balance across the wide grasslands. African wild dogs are masters of speed and endurance. Each one weighs about 50 to 80 pounds, built with lean, powerful muscles made for long-distance running. They always move as a pack, coordinating every step with precision. Reaching speeds of up to 44 miles per hour, they maintain a steady pace for hours. Against lions, wild dogs rely on close tracking, splitting angles, and taking turns applying pressure, making them one of the most challenging opponents to face. When the pack is hunting and unintentionally crosses into a lion's patrol zone, the risk of a territorial clash appears immediately. A single short-range charge is enough for the entire pack to recognize the danger ahead. In that instant, their formation can break apart if one individual loses footing, and the chase for survival ends almost as quickly as it began. Yet pure strength does not always guarantee an absolute advantage. When a lioness moves alone or travels with her cub, she becomes a target for the wild dog's persistent harassment. Swift approaches and a burst of loud calls can force this larger predator to retreat, turning her body to shield her cub and keep it safe. In moments like these, the line between overwhelming power and necessary caution becomes unmistakably clear. Moving forward or stepping back is always a difficult choice. Hyenas on the savanna are known not only as persistent hunters, but also as long-standing rivals of the lion. Their strong jaws can generate more than 1,000 outweigh of pressure. A clan often includes 10 to 30 individuals living in a tight matriarchal structure. This organization turns hyenas into formidable competitors for many species, including lions. They hunt on their own, approach closely to take portions of another hunter's meal, and may even challenge a lioness when acting as a group. When a lion has just secured a meal, the hyena clan quietly follows from behind. They gather in numbers and spread into a curved formation, closing in from multiple angles. The power of the group and their precise coordination can force a lion to step away from its prize. Encounters like these are always tense and high pressure, among the most intense standoffs on the grassland. A lion is not easily deterred. Its instinct to dominate drives it to reduce competition within its range. At times, a male lion follows the scent of hyenas toward shallow den entrances where young hyenas appear. Even a single approach can silence the area around the den, deepening the long-standing tension between the two species. Along the edges of their territories, a lone hyena straying from the group faces a greatly increased risk of confrontation. A sudden charge can bring a standoff to an abrupt end. It shows that every step a hyena takes toward a lion carries significant risk. And on the savanna, each moment is shaped by instinct and survival strategy. Under the blazing sun, an adult rhinoceros stands like a living fortress. Its thick, armor-like skin, sharp horn, and massive muscles make any predator think twice. With just a single turn of its head, the space around it seems to tremble. Facing this giant, a pride of lions must move with extreme caution. They study every movement, circle from the outside, and avoid any rushed approach. When an adult rhino becomes stuck in mud and loses its ability to maneuver, it creates a rare moment for lions to consider a direct attempt. They inch closer, yet every step is filled with hesitation, because one sudden counter-move could cost the entire pride dearly. Many times, the shadow of a lifting horn alone is enough to make the lions back away. Understanding that risk clearly, lions often choose targets they can control more easily. When they set their sights on a young rhino, the chance of success is higher. But it also brings another danger: the mother. The moment a mother rhino arrives, every plan the lions formed can collapse instantly. One powerful charge is enough to scatter the entire pride, forcing them to retreat to avoid serious injury. The Nile crocodile, an ancient predator more than 15 feet long and weighing over 1,000 pounds, is a master of stealth. It waits patiently beneath still water, watching for the moment when an unwary animal steps too close to the edge, ready to launch a sudden strike. Yet even with its impressive strength and burst speed, the crocodile rarely holds the advantage against a fully grown lion. When the encounter happens on the sandy bank, the balance shifts instantly in the lion's favor. With a flexible body, quick reflexes, and precise movements, the lion quickly takes control of the situation. If a lion is unfortunate enough to get caught in a crocodile's grip, the hunter can become the one at risk, a sudden turn in nature's unforgiving rhythm. Crossing the river is always the most tense moment. From below, a crocodile may surge upward, trying to clamp down on the lion's body. But the lion uses every ounce of strength to break free, springing out of the water like a survivor refusing to yield. It reaches the bank, its body still trembling, yet its eyes shining bright. Proof that the will of a ruler is not easily subdued. Across the open grasslands, the cheetah is the embodiment of unmatched speed. Its light frame, long legs, and flexible spine allow it to surge past 60 miles per hour. In most chases, few animals can keep up. Yet even this incredible speed is not always enough to protect it from the lion, the ruler of this land. When it senses danger in time, the cheetah can twist sharply through curved paths and slip out of sight. But a single moment of misjudgment, when a lion closes in too quickly, can render its speed useless. One brief delay can bring its entire journey to an abrupt end. In the competition for a meal, the advantage almost always belongs to the lion. The cheetah must eat quickly, regain energy, and leave before other predators arrive, or everything slips away. Though it is the fastest among the big cats, it is also the most vulnerable. On the vast savanna, speed keeps it alive, but power still rests with the lion. The cheetah survives through sharp awareness and careful movement in a world where every mistake means losing its chance to endure. The leopard is a solitary big cat, known for its agility, stealth, and remarkable reflexes. It moves skillfully along high branches, rocky slopes, and through bands of shade, carefully watching its surroundings to avoid lions and stay discreet across the wide savanna. Yet caution is not always enough. The lion, the dominant hunter of this land, with overwhelming strength and refined coordination, uses every opportunity to claim a meal. If the leopard carries its food up into a tree, some lions are even willing to climb after it, determined to challenge for the prize. At times, when a lion closes in, the leopard immediately rolls onto its back, claws raised, defending itself with calculated care. It knows that a single misstep could cost it everything. If the lion chooses not to prolong the tension, it simply threatens and then moves away. But when the leopard makes too many mistakes and is driven into open ground, with no escape route back to the trees, the lion can quickly bring the confrontation to an end. This encounter does not begin with hunger. It is driven by the lion's instinct to assert its dominance. And on the savanna, there is no room for weakness. Across the plains, still as if holding their breath, the cheetah appears like a streak of lightning tearing through the horizon. Each explosive stride declares that speed can stand in for strength, and that a streamlined body can push past every limit. As that slender body surges forward, the air splits into sharp lines, opening a chase where only precision decides the outcome. The ground seems to stretch and snap beneath its feet, drawing every gaze toward the next burst of acceleration. What happens when the fastest creature on the plains chooses exactly the right moment to strike? The cheetah, the fastest creature on land, the ruler of speed on the African plains. Its body, weighing about 75 to 140 pounds, is built for explosive bursts, with a flexible spine and a long tail that helps maintain balance when changing direction at speeds over 60 miles per hour. But speed does not last forever. The cheetah has only about 20 seconds to pour out its full strength before its body reaches the limit. Living among open plains and low shrubs, it chooses targets within reach. Yet its solitary life makes every catch fragile. With acceleration like an explosion and turns as sharp as sweeping wind, the cheetah turns every stride into a decision that can determine its survival. Compared to impala, wildebeest are a true challenge. Their heavy build, powerful leaps, and strong resistance turn every close approach into a risky gamble. Wildebeest herds often move in long lines, forming a living wall that is hard to break through. This advantage forces the cheetah to choose the right moment, the right individual, and to keep every step of the approach carefully measured. When it accelerates past 60 miles per hour, with strides stretching over 20 feet, its whole body seems to skim just above the grass. The chase only ends when the prey loses balance in a tight turn, opening a brief moment for the cheetah to bring the pursuit to a close. At other times, a group of 2 to 5 cheetahs splits their angles of approach, building combined pressure and disrupting the herd's formation. Each one takes on a specific role, turning the entire chase into a plan that feels pre-calculated in the wild. With vision blocked and constant pressure from different directions, the wildebeest gradually loses its advantage. Across the open plains, every choice has a cost. Speed only matters when it is used at the right moment, and for grazing animals, the strength of the herd remains their most enduring shield.
The cubs at a distance.
Hyenas are the persistent shadow behind many species, known for their habit of taking over meals and for the tough resilience of their packs. Because of this, they become the most unsettling rivals of the cheetah, a hunter that must stay constantly alert to protect the hard-won prize gained after exhausting chases. The cheetah, a true master of speed, is born to chase rather than to clash head-on. There is no personal hatred between it and the hyena, yet the path of survival keeps bringing them into contact as both move towards the same scarce food in a harsh land. With a sharp sense of smell, hyenas can detect the scent from far away and quickly gather around the spot where a cheetah is dragging its catch. With stubborn determination, they step closer, push forward, and apply constant pressure, forcing the cheetah to give ground as the tension rises. The difference in physical strength leads the cheetah to make a wise choice, to prioritize safety and turn speed into its only way out when the circle tightens. The encounter closes in silence as the cheetah withdraws and leaves the meal to the more numerous group. Once again, the plains repeat a familiar truth. In the world of hunters, long-term survival depends not only on strength, but also on knowing when to step back. The leopard, a solitary hunter equipped with powerful muscles, remarkable climbing ability, and a habit of pulling its meals high into the trees, is always the most unpredictable rival of the cheetah. An adult leopard can weigh up to 200 pounds, with strong jaws and overwhelming strength that force the cheetah to stay on high alert whenever they share the same hunting grounds. The sharpest contrast lies in how they protect their meals. The leopard uses its strength to carry its prize into the trees, while the cheetah, lacking the same defensive muscle, has to eat quickly on the ground, making it easy for rivals to take over. In close encounters, a single moment of carelessness can push the cheetah into a critical situation. Its body is built for speed rather than impact. Light bones and speed-focused muscles leave it unable to withstand the leopard's formidable bite and power. Even so, direct confrontations rarely last long. The cheetah stays alert, knowing that speed is its greatest asset, but that avoidance is its true strategy for survival. This is not failure. It is a deliberate, wise decision. Impala are a vital food source for the cheetah, making up a large share of its daily diet. With a medium build, weighing around 80 to 165 pounds, and a habit of moving in large herds, they become ideal opportunities on the plains. The hunt often begins in absolute silence. The cheetah lowers its body, blends into the grass, then suddenly bursts into full speed. In just 15 to 20 short seconds, the distance closes as quickly as a single breath. When the target is chosen well, the success rate can reach about 60%, providing an essential supply of protein-rich, energy-filled nutrition that helps the cheetah maintain its strength each day. This is not just a hunt. It is a race against time, where speed, instinct, and timing merge into a single critical decision. And at the end of each chase, nature reminds us that it is not always the fastest that prevails, but the one that can read the rhythm of the land and sky. The ostrich, the largest bird in the world, standing over 7 feet tall and often weighing nearly twice as much as a cheetah, has powerful legs that can sprint at over 40 miles per hour and deliver counter moves that make any predator cautious. Yet there are still hunters bold enough to challenge those limits. Instinct and daring drive the cheetah to pursue this high-risk target without hesitation. The encounter is never easy, but if the ostrich relaxes its guard for even half a beat, all 3 cheetahs can rush in from behind, looking for a way to control its legs, the strongest weapon their prey possesses. Surprise becomes the key, and at times the ostrich is overwhelmed by the smooth coordination of the trio, allowing them to earn a hard-fought reward. Even so, in most chases, the ostrich manages to stretch the distance and fade into the distant grass, reminding the cheetah that not every target is worth the energy it demands. Choosing the right prey is the real key to a sustainable path of survival. Across the savanna, the lion holds the power of dominance, while the cheetah relies on finely honed speed. The 2 species exist in intense competition. The lion not only guards its territory, but also stands as a constant threat, forcing the cheetah to keep its distance to avoid direct conflict. The encounter often begins when a lion spots a cheetah dragging its catch. In that instant, the advantage shifts immediately to the one with muscle and territorial authority. The lion moves in with long, confident strides, while the cheetah abandons its meal at once in exchange for a chance to survive. If the cheetah grows too complacent and is slow to retreat, the lion not only reasserts its claim over the territory, but can also turn that ground into the place where both the prize and the one who claimed it lose their hold. That is why the cheetah must rely on wisdom and caution to endure, knowing that speed may secure the prey. But true survival depends on staying clear of the power of the ruler of the plains. Across the African savanna, hyenas move like jagged shadows, quiet yet deeply calculating. They carry the label of mere leftovers eaters, but most of their energy is poured into long, organized chases. Every step, every sharp burst of laughter in the dark is a signal in a tightly coordinated network within the clan. When their prey begins to lose stamina, hyenas do not simply wait to pick up what's left. They actively close the circle, slowly pushing their target out of its advantage. Is the image of a simple scavenger really enough to describe an animal that plans, assigns roles, and keeps up the pursuit with this level of persistence? As the first light of day spreads across the savanna, a herd of wildebeest moves like a river of muscle. They depend on their speed, their strong necks, and their curved hook-like horns for protection. In the world of wildebeest, staying close to the group is the most important shield. But at the far edge, a hyena clan is already waiting. They do not attempt to confront the entire herd. Instead, they watch quietly, searching for a loose link. A youngster falling slightly behind, a lone adult drifting from the main flow, or an older individual tired after a long journey that becomes the ideal target for a long, steady pursuit. When one wildebeest misses the rhythm of the herd, the hyenas immediately tighten their follow line, keeping a consistent pace until the target makes a mistake or loses momentum. Sometimes, in a final effort to break free, a wildebeest rushes into a shallow waterhole, hoping to cut off the chase. But that hope fades quickly. Hyenas are determined swimmers as well. The chase comes to a close as the wildebeest's silhouette slips away behind the tall grasses. Here, victory doesn't belong to the heaviest strike, but to the species that stays persistent, waiting for the smallest misstep to turn it into a survival advantage. Across the open savanna, hyenas and African wild dogs stand as two rare opponents that are almost evenly matched. Both hunt in packs, relying on stamina, long-distance pursuit, and tightly coordinated signals between individuals, and when they cross paths, the balance usually depends on one thing: which side has the greater numbers? Hyenas are powerful with strong jaws, while wild dogs are faster, more agile, and able to change direction with remarkable ease. If the wild dogs are feeding, the hyenas will try to move in from multiple angles to create confusion. But unlike leopards, which often step back when pressured, wild dogs are willing to hold formation and move in sync to protect their meal, as long as their numbers are not lower than the hyenas. When one side has the numerical advantage, the stronger group steadily advances, pressing the other to back away from the food to avoid getting hurt. If both sides are evenly matched, they may occasionally feed within the same narrow space, staying on high alert to avoid unnecessary clashes. Only when the balance tips clearly toward one side will the weaker group choose to withdraw early. This kind of confrontation rarely ends with either side completely forced out, but it clearly reveals the importance of strategy, teamwork, and the ability to read every moment through each coordinated movement. As midday settles in, the hyena clan spreads out into a wide arc, each individual keeping some distance to better scan the tall grass ahead. They do not wait for the buffalo herd to get lost. They actively sweep through every gap, every fresh hoofprint, every slight movement in the sunlit dust. Just one signal, a young buffalo drifting slightly out of step, is enough to set the whole strategy in motion. The hyena that spots the target immediately steps up the pressure, moving in while letting out its distinctive calls. After just a few echoes, the entire clan is already focused on the same point, gathering fast like streams flowing together downstream. But the prey is not always at a disadvantage. In many moments, the mother buffalo appears right behind her calf, swings around, lowers her horns, and rushes in to block the path in the dusty clearing. The hunt becomes much harder. Every step the hyenas take has to be calculated to avoid sudden charges. Even so, the hyena's real advantage is not in direct force, but in stamina and persistence. They do not let up the pressure and never give the mother buffalo much time to regain her composure. Each steady wave of pursuit slowly wears down her drive to defend. When the mother buffalo is finally forced to slow down from exhaustion, the circle of pursuit tightens. There are no long, heavy clashes, only a constant rhythm of closing in, gradually pushing the calf out of its safe zone, a typical ending to the hyena's patient, unhurried, and highly effective strategy. When evening settles over the plain, a mother elephant and her calf quietly step away from the herd, moving along the edge of the grassland. The mother, weighing more than 6,000 pounds, stays calm as she leads, while the young calf stays close at her side, learning to read the low vibrations traveling through the ground, an invisible language that keeps elephant families connected across miles. It is in that moment that a clan of hyenas appears. They sense the risk of the calf drifting too far from the herd and begin spreading out, keeping a safe distance as they look for a way to place the pair at a disadvantage. For hyenas, this is a rare opening to test themselves against a much larger opponent. But elephants are not only strong, they rely on each other. The mother quickly releases a deep, far-carrying call. Moments later, other massive gray figures emerge, forming a solid shield around the calf. The adults arrange themselves in layered lines, tusks pointed outward, turning the herd into a true living fortress. Facing that wall of protection, the hyenas have no choice but to pull back. The chase ends before any direct clash can happen. As the night grows darker, not far away lies an old elephant that had collapsed earlier from age. The hyenas quietly make their way toward it, using what nature has left behind, continuing their role as cleaners of the savanna in the endless cycle of the ecosystem. Under the intense midday sun, the hyena clan moves up to the edge of the clearing, where a lioness is guarding the remaining part of the meal. When they only have to face a single lioness, they do not hesitate. Using their advantage in numbers, the hyenas fan out into an arc, creating pressure with cautious steps forward that force her to split her focus, sometimes even pushing her back and opening a brief chance to reach the food. But the moment the shadow of a male lion appears, everything changes. Its massive frame and sudden bursts of power are enough to strip the hyenas of their advantage. When facing a single male, and especially an entire pride, direct confrontation is simply not an option for them. Instinct narrows their choices to two: keep a safe distance or retreat immediately. Most encounters center around that brief window of taking over a meal. When the lions have eaten their fill and temporarily move away, the hyenas rush in, trying to eat whatever they can as quickly as possible before the lions return. It becomes a short race of speed, where every mouthful has to be claimed within just a few breaths. To reduce competition, the male lion also has its own way of keeping the upper hand. It follows scent trails to move near the areas where hyenas raise their young, creating pressure around their den sites so their numbers do not grow too strong. In the opposite direction, if a wandering lion cub appears near the edge of the territory, the hyenas will not ignore the chance to deal with a future threat. These are quiet, yet carefully calculated moves from both sides. Across the wide savanna, hyenas and lions stand as two clearly opposing forces. One a symbol of raw authority, the other an embodiment of endurance and selective daring, which encounter adds a new layer to the balance of survival. where advantage is never permanent, but shifts with every moment, every individual, and every decision made in the span of a heartbeat. Among the scattered low bushes, a leopard quietly brings its hunt to an end. It is fast, precise, and nearly silent, a solitary artist of the savanna, living by a level of speed that hyenas can rarely match. For the hyena clan, the opportunity does not lie in chasing small antelope. It lies in waiting for another predator to finish the hardest part. The moment a leopard holds its prey on the ground for a little too long, the hyenas appear. One individual moves in first and gives a short call, and within moments the entire clan converges on the same point. Facing this dense wave of pressure, the leopard often chooses the safest option, stepping back to avoid getting hurt. If it reacts in time, it rushes to pull the prey up into a tree, a safe height the hyenas cannot reach. But the leopard is not always quick enough. Just a brief delay allows the hyenas to close in around the prey, cutting off the leopard's return path. The takeover happens in an instant, not through direct force, but through fast gathering and coordinated pressure from multiple directions. In the ecological rhythm of the savanna, this relationship is clear. The leopard is the finisher of the hunt, and the hyenas are the masters of seizing the moment one commands the explosive instant, while the other controls what comes after. Together, in very different ways, they keep the life of the grasslands in constant motion. Across the vast ocean, the orca is not only a hunter, but a symbol of intelligence and control. Each encounter reveals that true strength comes from coordination and strategy. In the world beneath the surface, only those that adapt best are able to maintain a leading position. If this story helps the viewer feel the demanding rhythm of ocean life more clearly, pressing like is a simple way to support the channel. And subscribing allows the audience to continue following the captivating journeys of the wild world.